Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Unlock English. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Liam. So glad you're joining us today.
Liam, today we're diving into a topic that I think touches every single human being on this planet, the value of time.
Exactly. I feel like time is one of those things we all know is important, but we either take it for granted or get overwhelmed trying to manage it.
Totally. And we're going to explore this idea from different angles: philosophical, practical, even emotional. Why time matters, how we waste it, how to protect it, and how to live a more intentional life.
So, whether you're listening to this during your commute, while cooking dinner, or on a walk, thank you for spending your time with us. Let's make it worth it.
So let's start with something basic. Liam, what do you think time is?
Ooh, going deep already. I think of time as the only currency we're all spending constantly. You can't save it, you can't earn more of it. Every second is like a coin dropping, whether you want it to or not.
That's a powerful way to look at it. It reminds me of the quote, "You can always make more money, but you can't make more time."
Exactly. And yet we trade our time for things that don't always feel worth it. Endless scrolling, staying in jobs we hate, spending hours worrying about what other people think.
Right. And I think a big part of valuing time is simply becoming aware of how you spend it. Have you ever done a time audit?
Yes, once it was shocking. I thought I worked 8 hours a day, but I was really productive for about 3. The rest was email interruptions and, let's be honest, YouTube rabbit holes.
Guilty. I did one too and realized I was losing over 10 hours a week to mindless Instagram browsing. That's a whole workday.
You know what's interesting? Time feels different depending on your mindset.
Yes, like when you're bored, time drags. When you're in love or doing something exciting, it flies.
There's research on that too. Psychologists talk about time perception. It's subjective. That's why kids feel like summer vacation lasts forever, but adults blink and a decade is gone.
And there's that terrifying idea that as we age, each year becomes a smaller percentage of our life, so it feels faster.
I read that once you hit 30 or 40, you start noticing how fast time passes because you're more routinized. Less novelty equals faster time.
Which means we need to inject novelty into our lives to stretch time. Travel, learning something new, meeting new people. It's like adding bookmarks to the memory of your life. Okay, let's talk about wasting time. What is wasting time really?
Such a good question. I used to think watching TV was wasting time, but sometimes it's rest. The intention matters.
Absolutely. Binge watching something when you're avoiding life, maybe not the best. But watching a show you love with a friend to relax, that's connection.
Exactly. The same action can be productive or wasteful depending on why you're doing it.
So maybe the real enemy isn't wasting time, it's being unconscious about how we use it.
That's deep. When we're passive with time, we lose it. When we're intentional, we invest it.
Let's bust some myths. One I hear all the time is if I just had more time, I'd get everything done.
Lie! You just waste more. Time isn't the issue, priorities are.
Yep. And people glorify being busy as if that means they're successful. But being busy isn't the same as being effective.
Preach. I used to fill my calendar to feel important, but I wasn't doing anything meaningful, just reacting all day.
That's when I learned to say no. Hardest skill in the world, but essential if you want to own your time.
Saying no to things that aren't aligned with your goals is saying yes to your future self.
Let's shift gears and talk about relationships. Because if we really want to understand the value of time, we have to talk about how we spend it with people.
Yes! I read once that by the time you're 18, you've already spent 90% of the total in-person time you'll ever have with your parents.
That statistic hits so hard, and it makes you realize how precious shared time really is, especially with aging parents, children, or even friends you don't see often.
And we assume people will always be there, but one move, one job change, one life transition, and you barely see them anymore.
Right. I think about that when I hang out with friends. I try to be present, no phones, full attention. It's like this is your actual life happening right now.
Exactly. I try to schedule time with the people who matter most to me because if I wait until I'm free, I never am.
There's this concept called time confetti. It's when our day gets chopped into tiny, useless fragments from distractions, and we lose the ability to have deep, meaningful interaction.
Wow.
I've never heard that term, but I've felt it. That's what social media does to our minds and relationships. It confettis our focus.
So true. That's why quality time, undistracted, intentional, is one of the greatest gifts we can give.
So let's go big again. What do you think is the connection between time and purpose?
Ooh, big question. I think purpose is what makes time feel meaningful. Like when you know what you're here to do, even just for this chapter, it brings direction.
I agree. And purpose doesn't have to be some huge mission. Sometimes it's showing up for your kids, starting a side hustle, or just being kind every day.
Yeah. And if we don't decide on our purpose, someone else will decide how we use our time.
Exactly. Your calendar will fill up with other people's priorities.
Purpose also helps during hard times. When life gets chaotic, purpose acts like a compass.
You just reminded me of Viktor Frankl's quote: "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how."
Yes, purpose gives weight to your minutes. You're no longer passing time, you're pouring it into something that matters.
Yeah,
Liam, have you ever thought about legacy? Like what we leave behind?
more than I want to admit. I think about whether I'm spending time on things that will outlive me.
And it's not always about big achievements. Sometimes your legacy is how you made people feel, how you showed up for your family, or the little traditions you passed down.
Totally. And legacy isn't built in a day. It's built over thousands of small decisions. What you say yes to, how you treat people, how you spend your time.
I once heard someone say, your calendar is your autobiography. Like, one day your schedule will tell the story of your life.
Whoa, that hits. If someone read my calendar today, would I be proud of what they saw?
That's a great filter for decision making. Will this matter in 5 years? Is this how I want to be remembered?
Let's get really practical. If someone's listening and thinking, okay, I want to value my time more, where do they start?
First, do a time audit. Track your day for just 1 or 2 days, hour by hour. You'll be amazed where time leaks out.
Second, define what matters most to you, your top 3 values. Then look at your calendar. Do they match?
That's gold. And third, start saying no more often. Protect your energy. Not every invitation deserves your presence.
Also, set boundaries with tech. Disable unnecessary notifications, put your phone on Do Not Disturb for a few focused hours.
And maybe even start planning sacred time blocks. Time for rest, creativity, connection, non-negotiable appointments with yourself.
I like that. It's like budgeting time the way we budget money.
Exactly. And don't forget rest. True rest is productive. It recharges your brain and soul.
Okay, final thoughts, Jess. What's one thing you want listeners to remember about the value of time?
That every moment is a choice. And when you live with awareness, time becomes your greatest ally.
Love that. For me, it's this: time is the raw material of your life. Use it wisely, and you shape a life of meaning. Waste it, and you lose what you can never get back.
So well said. And remember, valuing time doesn't mean doing more. Sometimes it means doing less, but doing it better.
Yes, be present, be intentional, be grateful. Because this moment, this exact one, is your life.
If you've made it this far, thank you for giving us your time today. We hope it was worth every minute.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Send us a message or leave a comment. How are you planning to use your time more intentionally?
And if this episode resonated, share it with someone you care about, because the best conversations are the ones that keep going.
Until next time, friends, be well and use your time wisely.
See you soon.